Hi everyone, Justine here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am an intuitive reader and teacher, and I help awakened and sensitive souls intuitively navigate this crazy world. Okay, so today I actually want to talk about being empathic. Now, what does that actually mean? I always have to throw out, I guess, a definition, but it seems like a lot of people have different definitions about it, but I really identify it as somebody who has the ability to really feel the emotions of other people and could feel it more deeply. And basically, we're really, really sensitive to energy. So that is really the best. I'm not going to elaborate and go crazy with the definition, but that's really kind of it. So if you're an empath, I feel like you'll know you're an empath. I remember when I figured out what the word actually meant, the clouds kind of parted. And so I think it's so, so important for us to be aware of it. And that's how we can live our lives. We may need more alone time than others. We seem to be more introverted, even though I've met an extroverted empath. But it's so, so important that we're aware and know how to manage our emotions and our energy to survive in this world, right? So that's part of what my mission is. Now, today, I want to talk about three things. I call them quirky. Three quirky things that empaths may do that maybe a typical person does not. And these are behaviors. And some of them are consciously and some of them are unconsciously or subconsciously, we like to say. But these are just things that you can find an empath doing. And if you're an empath, they're probably not that weird to you, but they might be kind of out there for other people. So I'm going to go ahead and list them and see if you guys resonate. This actually might have a couple of people's like a light bulb go off, sort of. So we'll see. So let me just jump right into them. I like getting right into the content, right? And guys, if you like this content, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? Okay, so number one. So this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about subconsciously or unconsciously. Empaths tend to gain weight or carry like an extra 10 or 15 pounds. And we like it like that. And why we're actually doing that is because we need extra protection for the world, right? So carrying that extra layer of fat, and usually on the stomach area, is something that a lot of empaths do. Now, I say it's subconscious or unconscious is because we may be, we do tend to emotionally eat more than the average person, right? It makes sense. We need a way to manage our emotions, and eating is a really popular way to kind of suppress that or try to manage that. Not the healthiest, in my opinion, but it is something that people do. But I would definitely look at if you are someone that has always carried, eats healthy, exercises, but always carries like an extra 10 or 15 pounds on themselves. Think about why you might be doing that. And it might be because you're empathic and you're just really trying to have this extra layer so you're not so exposed to the world, right? And empaths have this thing where most empaths, this might not resonate with you, but if it does, I'd love to hear it in the comments, is that we don't like when people are looking at us. We don't like being the center of attention, like that kind of thing. So by having that extra padding, we're kind of doing like a protection, like a shielding for ourselves. And again, sometimes it's subconscious or unconscious when we're not actually doing it consciously. Most of the time, I would actually say. I also want to add, now that we're kind of talking about appearance a little bit and how we shield ourselves from the world, most empaths as well, and I find this kind of quirky, and I actually resonate with this as well, is that we wear baggier clothing. And that's partly because, yes, we can feel energy more deeply than other people. We're also just super sensitive, and for me, I know I have very sensitive skin, right? And it really comes down to having the clothing on us. Like I don't wear a lot of fabrics that are very like itchy, or like a lot of people would do it for the fashion and things like that, but it's kind of all about comfort for myself. And I notice that for a lot of empaths as well. So by not having tight clothing on, I'm almost kind of like shielding myself as well with oversized clothing. I'm known to, I am a small, and I'm known to buy large shirts, extra large, extra baggy, and that kind of thing. So for that purpose. So I feel like those two things go together. So I wanted to lump them into number one, and I'm curious to see if anybody else finds themselves doing that as well. That also might be subconscious, right? The second thing is more of an action. So I'm a huge fan of crystals. I feel like they bring a lot of protection, a lot of shielding. I wear, I'm wearing one today. That's right. I usually wear them or put them, I know people that put them in, females that put them in their bra. I know people that put it in their pocket, their purse, whatever it is. But one of the weird quirky things is that I actually sleep with them. So sometimes I have like my rose quartz like underneath my pillow at night, and then I like to make a grid around my bed. So I keep different crystals around my bed and even around my apartment. I keep them in certain places so I know that I feel extra protected. Especially since the studio here that I live in is really kind of my sanctuary, and I just want to feel like I'm extra protected, and I do. A lot of people can say that's a placebo or or whatnot. You got to do what feels best for you, but I see it a lot of times where people do that in their space. People could do it in their workspace. I've been in offices where people have them on their desks and things like that. So it's kind of unusual and it's kind of odd and it's kind of quirky, but it's definitely something that can be very, very beneficial. And I find, like I said, a lot of healing properties when it comes to crystals. So I'm pretty obsessed. I actually have like a whole bookshelf here of all of my crystals on it. Okay. So the third thing has to do with also trying to protect ourselves. If you've ever traveled with somebody that's empathic, first of all, the traveling itself could be super exhausting. I actually did a video about that a long time ago. But I wouldn't be surprised if you're traveling with an empath and they bring sage or Palo Santo, and actually when they check into the hotel or the Airbnb or wherever you're staying, they do a quick lighting of that sage or Palo Santo around the room to kind of clear the energy. Looks a little quirky, looks a little weird, but what they're doing is, like I said, clearing the energy and really making sure that the space that they're about to sleep in and inhabit is clear of anybody's energy before, especially if it's like a hotel, it's constantly different people are coming in and out. So it's so important to kind of clear the air a little bit, and also for protection as well. So that might be a little bit strange if you're traveling with somebody like that, who will bring their own sage and kind of, do the room like that. I like doing like the corners of it, same thing kind of like with the crystals, is like kind of creating that space and creating that grid of really good energy. So, okay, so that was 3. So that was quick. Those are 3 quick things that I feel are kind of quirky when they come to being an empath. My whole mission is to make sure that we are understood, and we are not super, super crazy for the things that we do. It's just, to me, obviously these things are they're not unusual. They make a lot of sense, and I'm sure they make a lot of sense to empaths as well, but it may not make a lot of sense to other people. But I just thought it was funny, and I could do a quick video on this about that, and hopefully this resonates with you guys. And if it does, remember, put it in the comments, and if you like content like this, please subscribe to my channel. So thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.